How high here because your parents are
Mm.
so you like that.
What should be when you market that
Oh, no, tell you what is so
solution that fits all. I totally agree.
right? We all individuals with different lives, so don't just because the social media thing tells you that everybody should be doing it, doesn't mean you should do it.
Agreed. The second one, and this one I really believe in, is you really should be quitting on something you do not enjoy doing, right? Did I get that right?
Yeah, so if you're not loving what you're doing, so but it needs a little bit of clarification. Any kind of job or work or business that you do, there are going to be parts that really, really sucks. But there have to be parts that you really enjoy with that business or with a job that keeps you doing what you're doing. If there's no part of this that you love, it's time to go.
No matter like how much money it's giving or how much security, if you're not happy with that job, it's going to be causing a lot of other problems on the road, I imagine, right?
For sure.
And what about the third thing? What is the third thing that you should be doing when you quit?
Well, there are times, especially when you run out your own business, that it's just not working. If you have no business, the customers are not buying, you cannot get investors, nobody wants what you're selling, it's probably time to quit.
It's true, right? Like we come from the Bay Area, from California, and everyone thinks they got the next big idea that that some investor's going to come in. All ideas are amazing in your head, but they may not be amazing to someone else. It's sort of like Shark Tank, right? It's sort of the same idea.
Yeah, so kind of go along with that. Another thing is if you're just kind of chasing sunk costs. So, if you throw a lot of money into this beautiful restaurant, you made a really nice restaurant, you throw a lot of money into it, you decorate it really well, but it's just not working. People are not coming. Nobody wants to come and eat your food. You can't just keep throwing money into a thing that is not working. And what you want to do is, especially for solo entrepreneurs, you kind of marry to the business. And what you should be married to is the result, not the business. And you're not getting results. It's time to quit.
Gives you time to move on to the next business, and that's the thing with solo entrepreneurs is like, we have so many ideas, and it doesn't mean you're locked into one of them. The first one may work, and the second one may work, and the third one may just fail, right? But it's okay to have failures. That's where you learn to pivot to the next one, right?
Yeah, so I guess the biggest reason why people don't quit is that it's an ego thing. You kind of bruised ego, right?
Yes.
You talk to friends, hey, how's the business going? Oh, I have to fold it because it's not working. It's a bruised ego thing. It is damage to your reputation. I think that's the kind of fear that people are really afraid of when you know that you should quit, but you're not quitting. So when you do that, you should probably quit.
Well, and that comes not just for businesses too. I think that comes for relationships too, right? Just because you're afraid of what people's going to think about you being a loving couple, or whatever, but you're putting a smiley face among all your friends and on social media, but meanwhile you're literally tearing yourself apart at home. It's really time to quit. Who cares what people think? They're not thinking about you anyway.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of couples that married because of the wrong reasons, or they kept together because of the kids.
Hmm.
Your parents is a good example.
Exactly, exactly. And surrendering, giving up, I think it opens doors to otherwise opportunities that you don't see, right? Because meanwhile, if you're not giving up on something, you can concentrate on something better that may come your way, right?
For sure. So, don't always think that quitting is a bad thing. Sometimes quitting is good for you, and maybe it's a way to open new doors for you.
Exactly. And talking about new doors, we're going to have our special guest, Vince Abramo, today, uh, teaching us or sharing tips of us what to do or how to deal with difficult people. And I tell you, sometimes the difficult people that I meet, I really want to quit on them.
So stay tuned. We're going to have a biohack, and then we'll go on to our special guest today.
We'll see you soon.
Right, strap in, folks. We're about to take a joyride through the fountain of youth. It's Andy Nam from Chronically Healthy Life. Ever wonder why some folks seem to age like fine wine, while others are more like a moldy cheese that's been forgotten in the back of the fridge? It's like they got the energy of a Duracell bunny on Red Bull, while the rest of us are running on fumes. Now, you might think hitting the gym and munching on kale is the ticket to eternal youth, but sometimes it feels more like we're just speeding up the aging process. Picture this. You're on the treadmill, feeling like $1,000,000, and suddenly you look down and realize your knees sound like a bag of popcorn in the microwave. Not exactly the sound of youth, am I right? But fear not, my friends, because here's the kicker. It's not just about the number of candles on your birthday cake. It's all about those sneaky little stem cells playing hide and seek inside your body. At the age of 20, you got more of these bad boys than you can shake a stick at. But fast forward a few decades, and they're scarce as a parking spot in downtown Manhattan. But guess what? We got a secret weapon up our sleeves. Phototherapy patch technology without drugs. That's right, folks. With our stem cell activation patches, you can hit the rewind button on aging faster than you can say reverse aging. So if you're ready to reclaim your youth, look younger, feel stronger, and heal faster than a superhero with a side of espresso, then it's time to hop on board the rejuvenation train. Get your stem cell activation patches now at lifewave.com/chronically healthy life. And let's make aging look like yesterday's news. It's not anti-aging, it's reverse aging, baby. Hi everyone, it's Andy Nam, and on this week's Biohacking episode, I thought we'd talk about something that everyone probably have inside their house. And this is something that everyone is probably still using in the wrong way. And if you haven't guessed it yet, what I am talking about is Clorox wipes, right? This was such a popular product that 3 years ago, these things were sold out on the shelves and people were wiping everything. They're wiping their door handles, they're wiping their hands, they're wiping their feet, they're wiping their clothes, they're wiping their groceries. It was crazy. Everyone was freaking out, saying that you need something that can kill. Right here it says flu virus, coronavirus, something that can kill viruses, right? And people are using these things like crazy. And the funny thing is, right here it says kills 99.9% of viruses and bacteria, which is great, right? But if you read closely what this is actually used for, It is used for cleaning ranges like your stove, your toilets, and maybe your sinks. Okay, basically anything that is just filthy and filled with bacteria. It specifically says do not have skin contact, therefore hence I got gloves. And do not get on your clothes. For all the people that were wiping the clothes, I actually had friends in California that was wiping their clothes as soon as they came home from work or from shopping. And he actually filmed himself wiping his clothes, everything, with this before his family allowed him in the house. Isn't that crazy? And then it also says, do not get in your eyes. If it gets in your eyes, poison control. It is right here. It says, hazardous to humans and domestic animals. It's right on the label. And what I want to talk about is how everyone's using this wrong, right? So once again, you should be cleaning toilets with this, cleaning stovetops where there is no food contact, right? You know, and the thing that a lot of people are doing wrong is they're cleaning the kitchen counters with it. They're cleaning their tables with it. Something drops on the floor, they're wiping the floor with it, right? Guess what? It kills bacteria. That's all right. Well, what else do you do on your countertops? You cut your food, right? You prepare your food. What happens when you're cutting your food and it falls on the table? You don't think much. You put it back on the cutting board, keep on going, right? Or you pick it up, you eat it, whatever. Same thing with the floor. And if this is so toxic and you're wiping it on surfaces that you don't normally eat from, but food does get in contact with, that's a problem. But the bigger problem is if you have little ones in the house. And when I'm talking about little ones in the house, for us, it's our cats, right? Our cats are on the table, they're on the floor, they eat anything and everything off the floor, off the table, your dogs, and even your little ones, your crawlers, your 1-year-olds, your few months old, they're on the floor. You're wiping this stuff on the floor. Guess what? Remember, it's just toxic to humans and domestic animals. So this is something that you should not use anymore. And for people asking why I have this, well, this is left over from 4 years ago. It's still brand new. I got sucked into the whole craze and I was using it to wipe gas handles, gas station handles. What a sucker I was for that. Meanwhile, you're getting it on your hands, you're absorbing through your skin, and your skin is your biggest organ, right? Anything that you touch with your skin is the same as you just drinking it or eating it. So my advice, if you have one of these, toss it out. So the best thing to do when you're cleaning a home, there are a myriad of products out there that are non-toxic. And one more fun fact. I wanted to show you this. In ingredients, it says 0.00% of ammonium chloride. And then it says 99.52% other ingredients. They don't even tell you what's in this thing. Isn't that crazy? No wonder a damn thing's toxic. They don't tell you what's in this. And if you don't know what's in it, definitely need to throw it out. So, like I said, there are a lot of products out there that are truly chemical free, and you can do your own search. There's a lot of that's plant based, but the thing that we like to use to clean our home, and we do have some that are plant based, but this one's one that we really love, is all you need is vinegar and salt, and the company's called Sanitru. What it does is you add a teaspoon of salt, 1 3/4 milliliters of vinegar, fill it with water. It has a little bit of electrolysis going on there. And then you have a cleaning solution that kills all viruses, but is safe for human and little use. And the thing that's really cool, you put in one of these things, look, nice little fine spray, look. I can be right in it, no problem. Non-toxic, all it is food grade vinegar and salt, right? So that's what I really want to talk about today. A lot of the things that we take for granted for cleaning our homes that is supposed to protect us can really harm us and our little ones. I hope you love this biohacking episode, and I'll see you next time.
Hello, and welcome back to the Chronically Healthy Life Show. I am absolutely delighted to welcome our guest, Vince Abramo, today. She finds joy in witnessing the change in individuals and groups when they are engaged in healthy dialogue. She has a heart for small business and supports the missions of nonprofits to fulfill the community's needs. She is a certified coach and trainer with the Maxwell Team, a brain health coach, and holds certifications in neuroencoding, leadership neuroscience development, and the International Coaching Federation. She lives on the island of Oahu with her husband, Nick, and has 3 wonderful adult children carving their own journey. Welcome, 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 Vince.
Thank you so much, Christy. Thank you for having me.
We're delighted to have you today. We're talking about dealing with difficult people, which is, I think, a topic we all need.
Yes, and I'm still learning about how to deal with difficult people.
Yes. It's always an ongoing process. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it is. Well, kind of just give us a taste of how you found yourself getting into this.
Well, I began my journey in self-development maybe about in like 2007, and I went to a conference and I did a 360 for myself, and I thought I was a great communicator. I had 300 people under me. The board loved me. The clients loved me. And then when I did the 360 and I had to do the training, I found out I was not a good communicator with my co-directors. And that was eye-opening. And we did 4 days of really in-depth learning about ourselves and how we affect people around us. And then we were gifted with a $10,000 coach for a whole year from American Express. And that helped me launch into my master's in public administration and then also in conflict resolution.
Wow. That must have been a shocker.
Like, oh, I thought I was good at that. But then I stood back and I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not. And I had to make that decision right there. Like, am I going to get better or am I going to keep myself from being the same as I was and not affect a better change for other people?
Mm. Did you find that after you started doing the training and everything that your communication skills with people in your immediate circle started to improve?
Yes. And I have to tell you, my husband took the course after I got trained, and he uses it on me.
Does it work? That's good. Wow. How about with your kids? Does it work with your kids?
And, I think it's the mom thing. It has to be. I have to be patient with them. But yes, they are kind of turning the tables on me too.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing. Well, do you think that's improved your home life?
Yes. Being very patient. I don't think we've yelled in a while. So yeah, it's so different. And then interacting with people, being patient with people, stepping back from what, your first thought. It's so helpful.
Yes. Well, it's always easier to communicate with people that you're either connecting with or on the same wavelength with. But then now we all have had to deal with difficult people in our jobs and on the street, in the line at the grocery store. Yes. So what do you think it would be the first thing we should become aware of to start thinking this way, to changing our mindset about this?
And I have a system, and it comes from other conflict resolution practitioners. It's really knowing about where it came from, the trigger that you had when you came into conflict. whether when you were a child, going through school or family life or your first job, whatever your experience is, that's the trigger for you and how your response was or is. And it's automatic. So we utilize the Thomas Kilmann conflict mode instrument, and that indicates what your level or what your mode is when you're in conflict with someone.
Okay, so this is a little technical. So help me understand that. Like, okay, so what does that mean? Like your first response? Does that mean like if somebody triggers you?
Yes.
Like if you're feeling triggered, you're so like if we take it, well, let's take an example of like someone at work, like a difficult boss who's maybe is one of those types that likes to yell and doesn't actually tell you what they want from you. So I get yelled at and then I'm triggered, and I'm triggered because of
what happened in your life, whatever happened in your life when you had a yeller in your life, your first response is that mode. So whether you're a shark, and we call them, there's animals related to it. You're a shark, an owl, a fox, or a turtle, or a teddy bear. You're either push back, or you are like, you give up something, I give up something, you avoid the conflict completely, or you're like, oh, you do whatever you want because I want to appease you. Or there's the owl, the one that wants to collaborate and takes the step back and wants to listen to the person. Because when anyone is yelling at you, there's something deeper going on. And it's not about the difficult person, it's actually about the difficult behavior.
Okay, so we take a step back, and this person's yelling, and I'm triggered, but I don't have to be triggered. I can say, no, I'm going to just like relax here. And the person, it's about their behavior.
Yes.
Okay, so then what would be effective communication tool besides, slapping them upside the head?
And then there's the other ones, right? Fight, flight, fawn, or freeze. The ones that don't say anything, or the ones that hide, or the ones that appease the boss. You go ahead and take a step back, and you're going to have to wait till that person stops yelling to really get them engaged. And when they're ready, say, hey, you know what? I really want to discuss this, but I want it at a time when we really can collaborate with one another and see where we can come to a solution. So let's figure out a time to talk. And it's simple as that sometimes.
Hopefully.
And chronic yellers are either the ones that are super concerned there's something going on with them, the ones that are not. So I believe that people, when they manage someone or manage someone, they either are using their parenting skills or the way that they were parented.
Definitely. It's like a joke that you turn into your mother or father or whatever, and unless you're really aware, which is what you're talking about, becoming really aware and making a conscious choice to do something different.
And saying to this person, it sounds like you're really concerned about this. It sounds like that you're very stressed about it right now. What are you feeling? Because you want this person to get to a place to name their emotion. Because when they start to name their emotion, then they can move on from there. And maybe that they have that opportunity to talk. The thing is, even with negative thoughts, when we have a negative thought, when we're dealing with that person and we're getting triggered, we need to switch that thought really quickly. So that takes a lot of practice. And maybe the first thing is taking a deep breath.
Taking a deep breath is always a good idea.
making sure to exhale and inhale and saying, maybe it's nothing to do with me. If it is, then we can work it out. But maybe it's something going on with them.
Mm-hmm. And 99% of the time it is something. My mom actually taught me that when I was a teenager. She said, if someone is, upset or whatever, or yelling or angry or stomping their feet or whatever, it's not about you. It's about something that's going on with them, and just, don't take it personally. And that was a really wise, because then when you're like, is there something wrong? Can I help you with something? Then it's taken much less like an offense.
The objective in that position is so important. And I've done family court and mediation of over like 15 people in the room. And managing that communication or that conflict that's going on, it's like, okay, it's nothing to do with me. They're angry at me and they're yelling at me, but there's something so much deeper going on.
Yeah, you're just the target, but it's really not about you. Yes. That's generally how I feel at the grocery store.
And then we can label the behavior, right, Christy? So what was the behavior that was going on at the grocery store?
I have a policy where I am nice. I'm just nice to everybody, because, sometimes you get that person in front who's causing an issue. They've got, they're arguing with the checker or something like that. And the checker's looking at the line, and you can tell they're sort of starting to panic. And I always feel like if people are at the checker, it's just making them more stressed out, So if you kind of smile at them and go, it's okay, like that, they calm down a little bit, and then they can just handle the situation, or call a manager to deal with it so that they can start the line moving. Yeah, so it's silly little thing of mine.
And then distraction is a good thing, right? So if there's a person that's taking up time with the cashier, like, oh, I didn't know that eggs were this much right now. Hey, did you know about that sale about this product? And then throwing them off their game so they're not concentrating on that person that's complaining. So complainers are people that have seen things that have been perfect, or think they're thinking that it's unrealistically perfect. And people appease them all the time, right? And the thing is, they are gonna keep complaining if it always keeps falling short of their expectation. So they've seen it, they've felt it, or they've witnessed perfection, but there's no way that they're gonna get perfection. So having the cashier, this is a good thing to ask the cashier, like, hey, you know what? Maybe it's a good idea to open up another line, or like, how can we figure out to problem solve this issue right now? So that person, that poor cashier, is not feeling so helpless. Like you said, bring in the manager.
Yeah, something just like, yeah, yeah. And I've also stepped up to the difficult person in the line and asked them if I could be of assistance. Perfect. Because sometimes those cashiers are young and they just look like deer in headlights, like, this is the first job I've ever had and this person is screaming at me. But you should know, I was a teacher for a long, long time, for over 30 years. So redirecting children is like part of my my whole personality. So that's what it sounds like to me, is let's just redirect them. So no matter what the situation is, then you can kind of create sort of a safety zone. And then where do you go from there? If you have managed to get them into kind of a safe zone, how do you then elevate that communication?
And it's different scenarios for different things and different cases, right? So if, like, so for example, for the boss that's yelling at you, and then they feel safe in that moment where you're having that conversation and they're into collaboration. Then you're asking them questions. You're actually coaching them to really find out, like naming the feeling, then really putting out there what the frustration was. Well, you didn't meet the quota this week, or you didn't come up to my expectations, or let's figure out what we can outline right now. So then it's becoming objective. So you don't, the whole thing is another redirecting, right? It's taking out that personal thing, that looking at the person as like, oh, this person's attacking me, and seeing it on paper really helps. So writing down what the problem is or the situation is, and then let's figure out how we can solve it together.
Mm. Do you think in the case of a boss yelling at an employee that the employee might feel really intimidated to do something like this since they are below the boss on the corporate scale or whatever, that they might be like, do you think that might be a little intimidating for people to start trying that?
It's completely, yes, very intimidating. So, and I don't want people to start ganging up on a boss, right? And this is where I come into a lot of organizations. I'm the third party. And sometimes it is the second in command, the vice president, the co-manager, who shines the light on that behavior, who needs to open up their eyes. So if there's an HR person or someone that can help you with that, it's so helpful, because I've seen a lot of organizations that have that second in command person. It's actually the second boss that kind of helps even the playing field for everyone.
So then it's take a breath, create a safety zone, and maybe that's even just for yourself at first. And then depending on maybe how volatile the first boss is, maybe it's seek help first before you try to communicate with the first boss. That's
right.
That's okay. Yeah.
And then if they're open to it, and it takes a while, right? It takes other people to have them realize it. Creating awareness in another person, I have to say, it's one of the toughest things, because I went through it, right? I had to go through a 360. I had to experience that myself. And if bosses are open to it, maybe they need to have a feedback form. Maybe they need to do 360. And that's when they have their eyes open. Because a lot of these organizations now, they're having a lot of turnover. And they're not experiencing holding on to their staff for longer than a year sometimes, right? And I've learned that it costs a company 1.5 salary of the person you just hired. So if you're paying a person $50,000 you just hired and they leave within the year, you're paying $75,000 to hire the next person.
Oh.
That's how much cost is happening in these businesses. The conflict, they're in the millions for some of these businesses.
Yeah. Wow. So there needs to be some shifting in perspective there, and some, monetarily it's worth it to create an environment in your business or office or whatever that facilitates communication and working together and a happier environment, rather than, these places where they just try to crush you and get as much out of you as they can, and then you're just, I'm out of here.
And creating that psychologically safe space, right, for everyone. And it's okay to have the complainer. It's okay to have that person to complain. You need to have that pushback. And I learned that I was the pushback person in another organization. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm the complainer. Because I've seen perfection before. I've seen like how a really well-run oiled machine is. I'm like, oh, why am I pushing back? What's the trigger for me? Right? But you want to engage the complainers to become mentors, to be the voice where they're the ones that are like, hey, I'm going to take this person aside and I'm going to work with them. Because then you're starting to switch their thinking, like we said in this episode. You want to switch your thinking, and then you want to switch their thinking.
Do you think that's harder to do in families? Because there's so many triggers within families.
So many. And breaking the different habits and the different models that we've been modeling in our families for so long. And I'm not a family therapist, I'm not a marriage counselor or anything, and that's someone else, right? It takes a while, right? And recognizing that and having them name that too, and allowing them to say, hey, you know what, I need some help, or you know what, maybe it's time for us to figure out something together. Like, let's figure out how we can be better at communication with each other.
Wow. I wouldn't, what if you just meet a wall? What if they are just flat out not interested in, they've got their walls up and they're just going to block you no matter what you say? What is it, kind of like just back off and let them go through whatever they're going through?
And those are tough. And those are different people. So there's a sharks who are going to push back no matter what. There's a tanks. Those are the people that are going to run you over no matter, like all the time. The ones that stay silent, those are the ones that keep reaching out. I want to say keep reaching out no matter what. The tanks, you need to back off and like make sure that you have enough information and just putting out that information as facts. So that, hey, you know what? I am hurting right now. I feel like you're not listening to me. Having that feeling, name that feeling, and maybe that person will own it. Maybe not. Right? Working on yourself is so important. And then making sure that you're feeling that you're safe and that you're okay.
Yeah, I think we could probably get into the level of dealing with like the narcissist in the family who, twists every word you say, and then but just let's not go there. Just because I think that's
experiencing a lot of those referrals lately.
Yeah, I think that's a whole nother level, but for just like repairing or maintaining relationships. So what else? The shark is the attacker.
The one who will engage in the whole conflict and push back and will really get to what they want and not hear what you want.
Okay. And the tank is the one who runs over you?
The one that keeps running over you, and you want them to know that you are a person. So you want to hold your ground and you want to keep breathing and you want to maintain eye contact when that person keeps running over you. And they're going to keep interrupting you. So you want to interrupt the interruptions, and you want to use I language. Hey, I don't feel like you're listening to me right now. I feel really scared. And you want to aim at the bottom line. Like, I am trying to get to the solution. So I want to work with you. And that's offering peace with honor for the tank.
Peace with honor. Ooh, I like that. And then, okay, so what's the next one? There's shark and tank. What's the next one?
Oh, okay. There's so many.
I know. I think.
Oh, and I'm the perfect example of this. This is the grenades. These are the people that are unappreciated. Most women are, most moms are. So you want to stop the grenade as quickly as possible. And the thing is with grenades is like they'll yell, and they'll explode, right? And they'll blow up and they'll run away. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry I blew up, right? but the thing is with grenades is that their self-esteem is low and they may explode again. So during that explosion, you want to get their attention and aim for emotion. It sounds like you're really frustrated right now. Or, hey, what's going on? What are you feeling right now? And let them know you care and you want to gradually reduce the intensity of that interaction. Take a break, and the next time, find the pin, right, for a grenade. You want to find the pin and don't pull it. So when I'm the grenade, I'm frustrated that the house isn't clean, right? And I'm like, all you have to do is clean the house. And for them, it's like, oh, okay, mom needs the house clean. But for me, I had to be really aware. It didn't have to be a particular time, right? I give them a week. It didn't have to be perfect, right? Looking for that perfection and being okay with it, being okay with what it is, and always appreciate a grenade, by the way.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, we could talk about this all night. But I understand you have an event coming up.
Yes, I have wonderful events coming up. I have the Women of the World, which I work with Al Ballard with, and that's a free networking event. And I also have the Elevated Effective Communication coming up on June 22nd, where people that are in workplace difficulty, that they can discuss on how to really dig deep in all of these subjects that we talked about.
Wow. Are you going to have future events through the summer as well?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the Eventbrite is where we can find you for your future events as well?
Yes.
Generally? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. You know, I have to go back for 1 second to the grenade. Grenades, mm-hmm. You know, women, moms, we tend to let things build up too much and then we explode because we don't deal with it. That's our part in it, right? Is don't let it get to the point where you feel like you're going to just be like, I'm going to rip your heads off. You know, you want to communicate your needs more effectively so you don't get to that point, and then everybody is happier.
Yes.
Okay.
Take care of yourself, moms.
Oh, yes, please, moms, yes. And teachers.
Yes. And dads. Dads sometimes are grenades too.
And grandparents and uncles and aunts. And okay, well, Vince, you're amazing. I mean, I want to learn more about this. But how can people find you? How can we reach out to you?
Sure. I'm on Instagram at BambooShootHI, and I have so many different other ways. Facebook, Bamboo Shoot. And there's a long story behind Bamboo Shoot on why I name it. But you can always find me, and it's pretty easy. You can find my my website right there.
BambooShoot.co?
Yes.
Okay.
And remember the HTTPS, because people purchase things, so there's a security.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes, that is true. That is true. Mm-hmm. Are you, how do you love living in Hawaii? I have to ask.
It's really hot right now. I think it's 87 or 88 degrees. So I'm sweating right now, but it's beautiful. And the thing is taking advantage of the outside. I know it's a high cost of living, but it's beautiful beaches, beautiful hiking, and it's just like chronically healthy life, right? That's living that life of that easy life of making sure that you're taking care of yourself and you're taking care of your family.
So you're living what you're walking your talk. Vince, thank you so much. I just really appreciate you coming on today. It's been wonderful. You'll have to definitely come back so we can continue this.
Yes. Thank you so much, Christy. Thank you, Minna and Andy. I really appreciate it. Aloha.
Aloha. And everybody stay tuned. Coming up next is Kids Corner. Hey, everybody. Okay, we're continuing talking about summer travel with kids. The second thing after activities that you want to provide for your kids on a trip are snacks. It's really difficult to get anything decently healthy on the road. So here are some things that I have found that kids, they really like them and they're easy to pack in your kids' backpacks. One, these are Simple Mills, a brand called Simple Mills. They have these almond flour crackers. They have all different flavors and they come in these little snack pack sizes that you can pack in the backpack. Two, hydration. You can get bottles of water pretty available, or you might have a travel bottle. And you want to still use electrolytes because traveling is extremely dehydrating. This applies to you too, parents. Two brands that I have found that are real easy are Cure, which they come in little packets. So that one packet for what goes in one bottle, and that makes it super easy. And the other one is Ultima. And they have these bags with all different flavored packets in them and one packet per bottle. And then it's super easy to stay hydrated and the kids don't feel deprived, like they're not getting something tasty. No sugar, no chemicals. That's what we want. And the third thing that I have found that tastes really good and they're high protein snack bars are Aloha bars. Tons of flavors and readily available in pretty much everywhere, including on Amazon or Thrive Market, in stores. And they're high protein bars. They taste good. Your kids won't complain and they'll feel like they're getting a treat. So, and you too, that'll keep your energy high while you're traveling. So that's travel tip number 2 for traveling in the summer with kids. Ciao, everyone.
We all hope to age gracefully so we can enjoy later years with energy, vitality, and good health. But so often with age, our bodies show signs of things just aren't the same as they used to be. Our energy, skin, healing recovery time, and sleep all go downhill. If you had physical trauma that happened to your body like I did, this happens much faster. I felt like a 30-year-old trapped in an 80-year-old body. But do you remember as kids the boundless energy we had, how fast we recovered? This is not because of getting old, but because of active stem cells inside our bodies. These are the cells that can generate and regenerate all the cells and structures in the human body. They are the building blocks of our organs, tissues, blood, and immune system. They also serve as an innate repair system everywhere inside the body. But as we get older, stem cell activity slows down, become less effective in repairing damage, and decline. By the age of 20, we only have 1 billion stem cells left. By 30, they decline by 60%. By 50, they decline by 75%. 60 by 9%. And by 80, we're lucky to have 50 million active stem cells. But what if we can naturally stimulate our bodies to reactivate and regenerate new stem cells through phototherapy without drugs? Now we can with our LifeWave X39 stem cell activation patches. Reclaim your youth and look younger, feel stronger, perform better, and heal faster. Get your patches now at lifewave.com/chronically healthy life. It's not anti-aging, it is reverse aging.
Hello, we are Mutts and Meows Rescue, a 501c3 nonprofit, foster-based, no-kill group. Mutts and Meows Rescue pulls dogs and cats from surrounding shelters in the greater Houston area. We even pick up dogs and cats abandoned on the streets. Mutts and Meows Rescue is foster-based and rely on your donations to keep rescuing. To know more about us is to know more about our furry friends and help them find their forever homes. Come visit us at Mutts and Meows Rescue on Facebook today and decide how you can make a difference.
Welcome back to Chronically Healthy Life. So, are you a shark, a tank? What are you?
You know, we were just talking about that as we're listening into Vince, and of course, Minister, you're a shark. You always want your way, right? And I was thinking, maybe I'm a grenade, maybe a tank. And it's like, they all sound so violent. And I'm the teddy bear. I want to hear more about the teddy bear. And she's totally the teddy bear, right? But, it's very interesting that your personalities come out, and figuring out which personality you are and how to use that to resolve different difficult situations is important. And I like to say I was a shark early on in life. I always had to have my way. I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I think I changed a little bit in the last 10 years of a little bit of personal development. So maybe not quite the teddy bear, maybe a vampire teddy bear or something.
Well, I don't think there's a right and wrong, and there's a good or bad in these personalities. That and you can change. Like I said, you did change a little bit.
Well, next week we're gonna have a returning guest, Samantha Kawa. Yeah, I cannot pronounce her name. We loved her so much. She's coming back. She's going to share us a lot more tips and wisdom on how to have a fabulous relationship.
Awesome. So join us back here on Friday, 7 p.m. CST. You can watch past episodes on watch.e360tv.com in the Vitality TV network, or on our YouTube channel at Chronically Healthy Life. If you'd like to know more about what we do and how we can help you live a chronically healthy life, visit us on our website at chronicallyhealthylife.com.
And of course, you can always book a free consult right there, or county.com/couple/stem cells. Also, if you have any comments, questions, suggestions about our show, we'd love to hear about it. Comment on our Facebook page, Chronic Healthy Life, or email us at anything@
chronicallyhealthylife.com.
See you next time.
See ya.